This is the lecture on projections for Introduction to GIS at St. Charles Community College. So your PowerPoint slides and notes and reading material will give you most of the information for this lecture. There are just a few things to know about how to alter the projection within your GIS project. So one thing that you will need to know for a few things throughout the semester is how your map is projected, and there are a couple of ways to determine this. You can either go into your feature class properties box, and remember we have many tabs up here. If you look at your source tab, it will identify for you what the coordinate system or what the projection is for this particular feature class. In this case, it's the World Geodetic System 1984, which is fairly common for the ESRI data to be listed in. If you find that you need to determine what the projection is, that's one way to do it. There are also, if you want to look for it for the entire project, you can go to your data frame properties as opposed to your feature class properties and look at your coordinate system tab. Remember, there are two rows of these and one is listed as a coordinate system. From here you can identify what it is currently in, but you can also change it if you need to. We will have a couple of instances where we need to where we need to change the projection. The most recent versions of the ESRI ARC software has what's referred to as on-the-fly projection, which is a beautiful thing. If you load in a feature class that is projected differently, the computer will ask, do you want me to change its projection to match what you already have in your project? And not so many words as that, but when you get that prompt, if you just say okay or yes, it will do it for you. Again, what's referred to as on the fly. It's extremely useful and very simple. But just to give you a couple of ideas of how your project can change, our map currently shows the United States, so it would seem reasonable to choose a projection within North America. If you choose a projection that, say, is centered in Asia, remember from the lecture that your your accuracy will be wherever your point of reference is. So if the accuracy is focused on Asia, then they were not considering the United States with this projection. So the United States will be very poorly projected. So even though there are a lot of options that are listed here, again, they will not show the United States very accurately. If we go into North America, there are some other options that we have here. Here's our NAD 83. We also have South American, or into our projected coordinate systems. We could choose state plane or UTM, some of those that were talked about in the lecture. If we look at some of the world, we could choose a Mercator projection, which is a fairly common projection to look at. Again, that notification that I unfortunately quickly passed through basically said, this is going to make it look a little strange. Are you sure you want to do that? And I just said yes, because we're just playing around here to show what kinds of changes can be made. So for each one that you pick, it's going to alter the way that the map looks because it's been projected differently. Again, depending upon how strange you want it to be, you could pick, a different part of the country or a different country even, and it would make those changes for you. So in general, that's all we're really going to look at for projections. You will need to know how to do it occasionally, and most importantly, how to determine what the projection is. So that concludes the lecture for projections.